Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be She Backs Away, It's Hot and Cold, and It's Driving Me Nuts. I've got an email from a guy. He got involved with a woman who is going through a divorce. So, in all fairness, he's new to my work, so I don't think he's even read 3% Man yet. He's just frantically going through my videos looking for a quick fix that will solve his problem. He's got all kinds of things going on. He's become attached to a woman who's unavailable. She's going through a divorce. But what would really help him is if he actually started following the instructions that are in most of my videos, where I tell guys, you got to read the book 10 to 15 times. You have to learn the baseline fundamentals. The videos are case-by-case basis of real-world stories that men and women are involved in, and how to properly apply what's in the book. But if you don't learn the fundamentals in the book, the videos can be confusing. Yeah, there's a lot of good information, but the videos are based on the premise that you understand the basics of what's in the book. So you can tell I feel for this guy. He's really suffering, and he's one of those guys that hasn't woken up yet to what's really going on. And a big part of it is his behavior. He's become attached to a woman that's unavailable. And more than likely, it feels normal to him to want to be loved, but he's not getting the love that he wants back, probably because that's similar to what he experienced growing up. He wanted love from his parents and the people close to him growing up, and a lot of times it was either withheld or just never freely given. And so he gets involved with a woman who he really cares for and feels something for, and she feels something for him, albeit though she's hot and cold. And then when she disappears, it drives him up a wall. Because there's moments of elation and joy when they're together, but you can tell he's pursuing too much and pressuring her. And that's the worst thing you can do with somebody that's going through a divorce. I even go into detail about this in 3% Man, that if you get involved with somebody that's in the middle of a divorce and the divorce isn't finalized yet, or they're in the middle of a breakup, and especially if they were together many years, and then they go right from being in a multi-year relationship to seeing and dating and hooking up with you, in essence, what's going on is they've replaced one intimacy with one person to a different intimacy with a different person. They never take time to heal. They never take time to get back to a place where they love themselves. They love their time alone. They enjoy being alone. Because if you can't enjoy being alone by yourself, you're not going to be good company, not only for yourself, but for anybody else for that matter. So this is a pretty common thing for guys that just are new to my work. Again, I feel for this guy, but he's really doing it to himself. So let's see what we can do to get him out of pain and get back to a place where he feels peace and ease and delight. Life is a lot more fun that way. He says, Coach Corey, hello, good morning. I am going crazy and I need your guidance. I came across your videos only recently and I have not read any of your books, but your videos spoke to me. Well, if you really want to get past this, you got to read 3% Man. There's no shortcuts to success. Trying to cherry pick a quick fix tip from the videos, it's not going to work. It's not going to be a long-term sustainable strategy. You might get some attainable success here and there, but you're still going to be confused and you're going to suffer unnecessarily. I'm crazy about this girl who's going through a divorce. We started seeing each other back in December of 2021 to January of 2021, having great sex, but she broke things off in February because she said things were going too fast and she was not ready. Typically, that's what you hear when a guy is pursuing too much. He's making her feel smothered. And as the Thich Nhat Hanh quote says, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Now, if you're involved with somebody that had a recent breakup or is going through a breakup, or in this case, a divorce, you can take that quote and multiply it by 10. You really have to you have to let women come to you at their pace, especially when they're going through a divorce. I did not contact her at all after that, and she called me wanting to get back together in March. Things were going well for about 2 months, March and April. But she started pulling away again and stopped texting and calling me. More than likely because, again, he was pursuing more than he should have been. She seems content on just texting and FaceTiming, but that does not work for me. Yeah, because you probably have turned into her emotional tampon and her therapist on the phone, and you're pressuring her for a relationship and to spend time with you. And so she's getting her needs met. She's getting the attention and validation from a man that she craves in you, but she doesn't have to deal with the pressure of a relationship, and that's why she avoids seeing you. And as I discussed in 3% Man, the phone is for setting dates, not giving out information or getting to know somebody. And that's what's happened here. You've basically put your balls in a box and given them away to this woman, and now she's controlling everything, including you. You don't have any self-control, and that's part of the reason why she's staying away from you, is that she can tell you're losing your shit over this. You're not a centered man. Therefore, she doesn't feel safe and comfortable with you. And so she keeps you at arm's length. We saw each other a month ago in April, had great sex, and she told me she wanted to take things slow as she has to deal with her divorce. Women help you when they like you, and she's telling him what she needs. But he's probably needy and neurotic, and he's not listening because he's trying to force things. Because he's focused on everything he feels for her and ignoring the fact that her emotions are all over the place. They're like a yo-yo. One day she's hot, the next day she's cold. One day she wants to be with him, the next day she can't handle it. He says, I figured a month had passed since we last saw each other, and that for me was slow enough. So I started pressing to see her. Lo and behold, she stopped communicating with me. You can just tell this guy's just constantly chasing after her. Every time he talks to her, he's trying to convince her to spend more time together. And she goes, oh, I'm not ready. I need time. Let's just talk some more on the phone. And so she's basically in control of the relationship because he's not in control of his own emotions. If she reached out, he'd chat for a few minutes and say, hey, I'd love to see you. And he'd ask her maybe no more than 2 different times total. One time he asks her, if she says no or I don't know, I got to check my schedule. And then you say, hey, figure it out and get back to me. Just like I talk about in 7 Principles, Get an Axe Back. Next time she reached out, same thing. And if after that, after 2 times you've tried to get together and she won't get together with you, then don't bring it up anymore. Talk to her for a few minutes. Say, hey, it's great hearing your voice again. Glad to hear you're doing well. But I got to run. Keep in touch. I'll talk to you later. And then you get off the phone. Same thing with texting. A few texts back and forth. Hey, it's great hearing from you. I got to run. Talk to you later. Hey, I got an appointment I got to head to. Have a great night. Have a great day. Whatever it happens to be. And never bring up getting together. And 1 of 2 things will happen. She'll either bring up getting together and then you set a date, or she'll stop contacting you. But you have to recognize if you're going to get involved with somebody that's going through a divorce, especially if it's not a amicable divorce and it can drag on for years, emotions are going to be all over the place. You have to let women come to you at their pace. And especially when somebody stops communicating with you, they in essence have stopped, because dating is like tennis. You hit the ball over the net and they just stopped hitting it back. They stopped playing. They stopped participating in the game, if you will. The mating game, the dance of life, the salsa, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is she's no longer playing. So if somebody doesn't want to play with you anymore, guess what? You pack your shit and you go find somebody else to play with. And maybe she gets in touch with you in the future. Maybe she doesn't. The bottom line is you're interested in playing tennis with somebody that will reciprocate. She stopped reciprocating, therefore you walk away. You don't call her or text her again for any reason. And so because of that, and especially because she's going through a divorce, 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing should be done by her. And as I talk about in the book, your job as a man in the courtship is just simply to create an opportunity for sex tapping. To hang out, have fun, and hook up. That's it. Nothing about locking her down or relationship and anything in there. That's all you got to do as the man. You can be the escape from her unpleasant divorce. So anytime she calls you, she gets great sex and romance and an escape from this horrible divorce. Instead of you giving her grief about not spending enough time with you because you're like a needy little boy. He says, I'm dying here not knowing if we are still together or not. Well, dude, you're not together and you're not in a relationship. You're thinking like a chick. Again, hang out, have fun, hook up. Doesn't say anything on there about are we together or not. It's not your job. That's feminine energy. Women are, that's the feminine imperative, if you will. Bonding, nesting. Love is all about opening up to receive love, commitments, dating, relationship labels. Your job is just create the next opportunity for sex to happen. Is she down to get together or not? And if she's not, all right, call me later if you change your mind. Call me when you figure out your schedule. But again, you ask her no more than 2 times in a row when she reaches out. And if she won't make plans, then you never bring it up again unless she brings it up first. And then you limit your contact to the phone. Part of the problem is you train this girl that you're basically available 24/7 to be the emotional tampon, to be her therapist. And that's why you're not seeing her. I really like this girl, but the roller coaster of emotions is too much for me. That's another reason why she doesn't want to see you. You can't handle it. You don't have any emotional self-control. I do not like the hot and cold that she is putting me through. It's not that she's putting you through it. You're an uncentered man who's getting wrapped up in her emotions. I mean, how much sense does it make to go out and yell at the weather every day because you're not happy with the weather? It's completely pointless. You're just going to wear yourself out. Love is allowing. If you hear from her, amazing to hear from you, babe. And if you don't, hey, I'm glad to have some peace and quiet in my life for a change. You got to be okay with being alone. You got to be okay with not hearing from her. He says, I have not dated for several years as I focused on my kids. I got 2 daughters and my work. I've not been interested in any girl until I found out that she was going through a divorce. Plus, she's unavailable. And like I said, more than likely, you should look inward and think about what your own upbringing was like. Did you get enough strokes as a kid? Or were you constantly not getting enough love and attention, attaboys, I love yous, I'm proud of yous from your parents? And if you wanted love as a child and you didn't get it, you tend to seek out and gravitate towards women who treat you the same way. You want love, they seem like they care about you, but something's getting in the way. Obviously, in this case, it's a divorce. One of the things that Edgar Cayce said in her readings is you're always meeting yourself. It's like you have the chance to deal with your weaknesses and overcome them. And if you overcome them, you'll be the kind of man you need to be, not only for her, but maybe somebody else. She made me feel things I have not felt in a long time. My issue is she's made me feel so happy, but she's also making me feel depressed during times like this when she does not communicate. She's not making you feel anything. You're choosing to assign negative meanings to what's going on. You're getting all wrapped up. Again, you're getting wrapped up and upset about the weather when you really have no control over it, any more than you have any control over her own emotions. So if she's available and she wants to see you, that's wonderful. And if she's too busy, she's got things going on, that's okay too, because you're a free agent and you should be meeting and dating other women. Now, I know it only comes along every few years that you meet somebody that pushes your buttons this way. And I believe that the reason that is, I mean, if you fell in love with somebody new every day, it's like we wouldn't have any deep connections or deep relationships with anybody. And that's why when somebody comes along that we really click with, we really want to invest the time, because it's very rare when it does happen. But if you don't chill out, you're going to chase her right out of your life or get yourself perpetually friend-zoned and blue balls. I can't sleep and it's impacting my work. I don't know what to do. Don't do anything. You should be reading my book and meeting and dating other women so you can practice meeting and dating other women. And if you have other options in your life, then when this woman disappears from your life, you're going to be excited about the new possibilities, because at the end of the day, you need somebody who's ready, willing, able, and open to dating you. And she's not. She's going through a divorce. She's still somebody else's wife in essence. And it doesn't sound like she's going to be divorced anytime soon, and it's emotionally overwhelming. So quite frankly, she's not the greatest candidate, but you're a good dude and you're willing to give her a chance to win you over. But you got to let her do 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing from here on out. You should never reach out first to her ever. Let her come to you at her pace. When she reaches out, assume she wants to see you, make a date. Don't sit there spending 2 or 3 hours on the phone and being her emotional tampon and then be shocked that she never wants to get together in person. Just don't do it. Phone's for setting dates. It's not getting to know somebody. Should I just move on with my life or forget about her? I wouldn't say forget about her, but yeah, you should focus on your outcome. Your outcome is to find somebody who's ready, willing, able, and open to dating you. And this woman is not. She could be down the road, but you're giving her the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, you want somebody that you can spend time with now. And that's why you should be doing everything you can to read the book and get out there and get back in the game and meet other women so you can improve your skills to not only, because that'll make you cockier, it'll give you a little bit more swagger, and it'll make you less inclined to sit on the phone forever being her emotional tampon and doing nothing but giving yourself blue balls. If she's not willing to spend time with you, then you're going to go spend your time with some other fair maiden. And then let her feel that, ooh, if I don't do something, I'm going to lose this guy. He says, I want to make things work. Well, it takes two, and she's not making the effort. And you smothering her is going to do nothing except drive her away and cause her to judge you as a needy, insecure, neurotic jackass. He says, but I don't know how, and I'm so confused. Well, when you're confused, it means you're about to learn something. You got to read the book, dude. There's no way to get around it. She told me she loves me, but is treating me like shit. I don't deserve this. Again, you're getting wrapped up in her emotions instead of seeing that you're seeing the situation as better than it is. Ideally, you want to see things as they are, not better than they are or worse than they are. But in this case, you're seeing the conditions of this interaction with this woman is way better than it is instead of as it is. She's just kind of an occasional booty call. When she really misses you and is dying to see you, she'll make time to get together and you'll hang out, you'll have fun, and you'll hook up just like the mug says. He says, I know you're going to chew my ass out for things I'm doing wrong. Can you help me? Well, you got to participate in your own rescue. I'm not coming to save you. Your mommy's not coming to save you. You got to save yourself. You got to take a step back. You got to fill in your knowledge gap. And you got to start acting like a man consistently. Because as you said, you got 2 little baby girls at home. And the last thing your little girls need is for their daddy to be acting like a big giant fucking pussy and a mangina. They need to see you happy and in love and dating healthy women, not women that are on an emotional roller coaster because they're in the middle of a messy divorce. You got to think about your job as a man. And you're not being the best dad and father that you can be if you're losing your shit over some chick that's quite frankly not available. She's just an occasional booty call. And it's nice of you to take her up, because why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? So the reality is you're kind of in control of this situation. But you got to fill in your knowledge gap, and you got to get out there and get some other choices and some other options so you can smooth out your neuroticism, because your daughters need that. Because otherwise your daughters are going to grow up and they're going to go date a man that's acting just like you. And I'm sure you don't want that for your daughters because it'll drive them nuts. So if you can get your act together and be calm, cool, collected like James Bond, they're going to feel like daddy's got everything handled always. And then when you finally bring a woman home to meet your girls, they can see what balanced and healthy and loving looks like, because that's what they need from you. And you're totally capable of that. But you got to do the work. You got to participate in your own rescue. Nobody's going to fix it for you. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.